What is going on, everyone? Stevo Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And once again, guys, just overwhelmed by all the support we had. Just a blast video, all the comments and everything that were left in the video. It is just overwhelming. Like, I cannot reply back to so many people. I don't see how big channels can do it. I just got overwhelmed with it. And I just want to say, if you're still here and you subscribe to the channel, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And all your comments and everything were read, and I was able to reply to some, but man, and there were some good ones in there too when talking about the mistakes on the Switch. And I think people might have been a little bit misled in the video thinking that's all the Switch games I had. Excuse the pile of mess over here, but no, I got a lot more Switch games over there. So yeah, that's just stuff that has to get on shelves. That's why it's so messy. And when everything gets cleaned up, we will do a room tour so you guys can see that. But again, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching and hanging out. And welcome to the channel if you are a new sub. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about like the return of the turn-based RPG. And I want to get this right with Clair Obscur Expedition 33 just being released not too long ago and just getting, man, like overwhelmingly positive reception, great reviews. I mean, it was just awesome to see. Then we get the Lunar Remaster Collection that released not too long ago. And people are starting to wonder, are turn-based RPGs making a comeback? And I gotta be honest with you, the initial reason I wanted to do this video was actually based off of my wife's plants and her garden. Like, how can you connect a garden and video games? Well, I'm always up for a good metaphor, so I'm gonna try this here because it's really what sparked this for me and the realization for all this stuff. I'll even show some footage of my wife's plants here. She loves to garden. One of her things is either gardening or reading. Those are her only two hobbies and the things she loves to do. So the other day, when you start growing plants here up in the Pacific Northwest, up in Washington, this could be anywhere. I have no idea. I just make the planter boxes for her and carry the dirt. I don't do the gardening. I do the man stuff. So I do that stuff for her, and she does all the growing. Now, you have to start inside here because our springtime, it's still too cold outside to put plants into the ground or else you're just going to freeze overnight. So she starts growing them in here, and everything was going great, guys. The plants were looking good. This is stuff we're going to be eating. We love some garden fresh vegetables. And we wake up 2 days ago, and I have footage of some of the plants here, and they were just wilted over. I'm like, man, I felt so bad for her because there are a couple things that can cause wilting. They didn't get enough water, they got too hot, or it could be some type of fungus. Well, they've been inside, and this is like store-bought soil, so it shouldn't be a fungus or anything, but my heart sank for her because it's like, man, you got to hit the reset button. And gardening's all about timing. If you do it too late, plants might not come out right. And if you do it too early, stuff could happen to your plants. So timing is important. So she wanted to make an attempt to salvage these things, man. And guys, like, I couldn't believe it. A couple days later, I'll show you footage now of just those plants coming back to life and being revitalized. And once again, man, I felt so happy for her that she was able to save those things to get them out there. And it's kind of weird how it can connect to a lot of things in life. We're going to try to connect it to gaming here, but over the past years, guys, it felt like the gaming industry was wilting away. Could have been many different reasons. It seemed like for every time we got a great game in Elden Ring, something like a Dragon Age of Hellguard would come out, or Concord to Marvel Rivals. But it seemed like everything was kind of on like a downhill slope. We'd get that one or two big releases every year, but even then, like, something sitting there tainting the release of the game. It could be price, it could be something as far as the gameplay or the story or something going on in the game. A lot of different things, but it felt like the gaming industry was wilting away. It was losing its energy, dying out. Especially when it comes to turn-based RPGs or JRPGs. I don't want to get into the argument about that, about JRPG, turn-based RPG. For me, just as traditionalist, I always thought JRPG meant it was a turn-based RPG from Japan. So when people are saying JRPG for games made over here in the States and stuff, it does seem kind of weird. Like the Claire Obscure game, I forgot where they're based at, who made it, but they're not out of Japan. So just for the sake of this video, we're going to call them all just turn-based RPGs, even though I think Breath of Fire, JRPG, Chrono Trigger, JRPG, Dragon War, Dragon Quest, JRPG. But over the years, it seems like especially these have been wilting away. The developers and creators of these games felt like that, you know what, turn-based, it's not where it's at anymore. No one wants to play a turn-based RPG. So slowly, they start to move away from it. They start to get away and go into more of action-heavy RPGs. Now, and those are great games too, but I always had a fondness and a connection to turn-based RPGs. And I know like Ogre Battle 64 is more of a strategy RPG, but again, you're taking a turn, one turn at a time, while you're doing combat in those games. Fire Emblem the same way. And my journey with JRPGs truly began. I wanted to give one a first try when I got my PS2 and I knew I could play PS1 games with Final Fantasy VIII. I was not a fan of JRPGs, turn-based RPGs back in the Super Nintendo era or the NES era. They just were not my things. So the first one I tried out was Final Fantasy VIII. I have the guidebook still, my original guidebook that I used to want to work my way through this game. Got up to disc 3 and just put it down. Like I just never finished it. And then it would be years later when I would eventually try Xenosaga and Final Fantasy X. And, you know, I was starting to get more into JRPGs at that time and turn-based RPGs. Like, okay, I'm starting to feel these things now. But again, never finished those. Like I got stuck on a boss on Final Fantasy X and put it down. And then Xenosaga just, I was loving that game. I forgot why I put that one down. But it took until years later, watching YouTube and Happy Console Gamer starting to talk about Dragon Quest. And around that time, Dragon Quest IX was going to be coming out. So I picked it up. And that's where like I really started falling in love with turn-based JRPGs. And it just started kind of from this game right here. And it seems ever since then, we kind of had a window where we were getting some turn-based JRPGs or turn-based RPGs. See, now I'm getting all myself confused. And then it just started to go away. Final Fantasy 13 came out, and I loved that game. That still had turn-based inputs in it, in the game, but right after that, it started to seem like you could see where they're kind of incorporating. They want you to move faster, getting those attacks in. It's more timing involved based on the difficulty you're playing on. And then from there on, we had 14 come out, which was, of course, MMO. Then 15 was more like action-y, where you're moving around. Then the remakes coming out just seems more action-based. And just kind of everything is getting away from the turn-based gameplay. It just wilted away, went away. And again, like just developers and everyone thinking that we're not going to like it anymore. Even the new Dragon Quest games coming out, or Dragon Quest 12, it's supposed to be going away, rumored, from its turn-based style that it's had since its roots, like since the beginning. And unfortunately, it looks like it could be changing. Hopefully that's not the case, because one of the reasons people like me love the Dragon Quest series is because it is that classic turn-based style. But it has seemed like over the past couple years, I would say when Dragon Quest XI came out, I mean, I thought we were going to see a revitalization then with turn-based RPGs, and just it didn't really happen. It didn't really happen, even though this was received so much acclaim and it was highly praised. It really didn't happen. But then we started getting like surprise things out of nowhere on the PS5 and PS4. Yakuza Like a Dragon being a turn-based Yakuza game, and that kind of attracted people again. Oh, turn-based games. And then last year, the Dragon Quest announcement with these 2D HD remakes, like just a thing of beauty, perfection right here. Love these games. So it's like, man, all these remasters and stuff are starting to come out. We'd get like the Collection of Mana series coming out. We get all these collections from older games. So it seemed like maybe a revitalization was going on with the turn-based RPGs. And you can still have a good turn-based RPG and still incorporate some actiony things in it, with like the action wheel and Shadow Hearts, where you're not just sitting there static during the combat. You could actually do some things to enhance your abilities or your attacks during said combat. Same thing with the Paper Mario series. All on timing. You can defend attacks coming into to you, or you can get more power into an attack that you're letting out. And then, so it seems like incredible that this game, Clair Obscur, comes out and just takes the world by storm and sells so well. It was awesome to see that it's doing so well that the developers put on their Twitter page of all the sales that they've hit already so soon. And it's just blown their minds for such a small team to develop a game that is turn-based, yet kind of has these action prompts in it to keep that classic turn-based feel. Yet you can have people who are like, well, this is kind of dull playing a game like this, to still have some actions in it to keep you on your toes. So I, for one, it's pretty awesome seeing, hopefully, that we can see a revitalization. Just like my wife revitalized her plants, all we need are people who want to give these games the proper love and care and just development cycles to where they can really show what you can do with a turn-based RPG, like the developers for Clair Obscur did. I don't know how long that game has been in the works or they've been working on it, but it can take time these days to develop a quality game. But even with old school style of turn-based magic, it can still be done. So I'm hoping that a game like that, and with more stuff like the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 2D HD remakes coming out, we can still see more developers want to go back. Maybe Square Enix can go back to getting Final Fantasy back to some turn-based action. And I don't know, it'd just be awesome to see maybe some of these older series possibly make a comeback and give us some turn-based love into the future. So who knows, guys? All I know is I'm excited. I'm hoping for good things for turn-based RPGs and JRPGs in the future. And I hope that Clair Obscur has like opened the doorway for people to want to go out there and experiment with them again, to bring more out to the audience, because people do want to buy it. It's proof. There is an audience for it, so you guys can still make it. You don't need to kind of go the route that they're doing with the remakes with Final Fantasy VII, even though I know there's people who love that over there. You can give us our turn-based goodness, and we can still enjoy it, and it'll still do numbers. It'll still do great for you. So what do you guys think? Is it the return of the turn-based RPG yet? Are we on a revitalization of that coming back to the markets here for us? Let me know in the comments below. As far as the mainstream, I know there's been a lot of indie stuff out there you can probably grab, but I'm talking about mainstream. Can we get these turn-based games back into the limelight? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.